Welcome to Fit Club Vegas, the ultimate fitness destination for visitors. Drop in for a day pass and experience our 10,000 square foot fitness playground. At Fit Club, you'll find state-of-the-art equipment and a sound system so good you'll pitch your headphones. Conveniently located 7 to 12 minutes from the Las Vegas Strip, Fit Club is a perfect spot for you to come get your pump while visiting Sin City. So come check us out at 4525 West Hacienda, Las Vegas, Nevada. Fit Club Vegas, more than a gym, it's a vibe.
Pacific West Injury Law. Injured? Call 602-HURT. Car accident? Call 602-HURT. Our firm is dedicated to you and your recovery.
All right, go. He was there.
Back in Vegas.
They lost last night. They're down 3-1 now.
How's Denver? 2-2?
No.
I have. You know what's crazy? The last couple of days I didn't watch
Yeah,
anything.
I think Denver was. Is
Yeah,
2-2.
with Tatum out now, it's
wide open.
yeah.
Oh well.
The way
It was at the end of the game.
I watched some of it a
He
little.
had,
Indiana's doing.
He had like 11 threes or something in the game.
Hey.
Shit, crazy.
So he's out.
Jokic needs the title. Jokic needs the title.
Achilles. Yeah.
If that's what it is, I mean, it looked like it.
Yeah.
All right, so Milos, we had a great time in Montreal.
Yeah. It's so good to see.
Did I get
right next to
you
him.
better seats because I showed up? Okay.
Now the truth. Now you know why he wants you to come.
No, not because of that. Listen, it's fun. I actually didn't know that you're such a fan and you have such a knowledge of the sport. You know, he acts like he doesn't know. He knows everything. He was analyzing right there with me. Good.
We thought Bilal, you picked him to win.
Yeah.
Was on 11-win streak.
Yeah.
And what mistake did he make?
Well, I can't say mistakes. I just think that he was proud to prove that he can stand up with a boxer because his stand-up is way improved, but I think if he mixed it up.
He tried to take him down a couple of times. Maybe he waited too long. Huh?
Yeah, waited too long
Maybe
and didn't have him guessing. He was just accepting a stand-up. And that's the Magdalena's thing. So anyway, what a fight. It's probably one of the best fights this year. Maybe it's going to be even nominated. God knows. I'm sure Dana and Hunter, enjoyed it watching. That was a badass war.
The last
5
two
rounds.
fights were really good.
Yeah. Valentina, yeah. Also
but the
went to 5
last
rounds.
one, the last one before her. Who was the second? Who was the guys? Well, Aldo fight was really good too.
Aldo was off the chart. That was
No, but there was one more.
No, Aldo was before Valentina, and Aldo, Jose Aldo, let's say, retired from the sport. He's phenomenal. He was in a 10 years winning streak at one point. And he pretty much dominated in this second round. You think third round he's going to finish him, and then he gassed out, and rightfully lost. But
So we're celebrating in Montreal, and we had a pretty competitive show, or at least it was a build-up to be pretty competitive.
For the Pittsburgh Pro, listen, it was all that it was promising to be and more. I must say, before we go into the review, I was there waiting. I was trying to get on pay-per-view, and I did it once, and I'm approved, okay, and then I can't get access. So now I'm in a rushing. I go on my laptop, same thing happened. Go back to my phone, third time, and back to the laptop, 4 times. So I signed up for it 4 times, and I couldn't watch it.
Is it because of where you were located?
I don't know. It's just like I have 4 charges to my credit card, and I had no access to it. So now in a panic mode, I want to see what's going on. I'm on the internet, and I'm just having a flips. Muscle Discord was showing, and you can't tell by a still picture. It was not even a video. So I got completely different idea of what was on the stage. But Danny James was there, Chris Cormier was there, and they were basically telling me that Nick was overpowering, and I didn't see this in those videos that I've seen. So we know that Nick is a mass monster. You can expect that. But then when you see them, how much space they cover, right? Oh, Derek is quite pound for pound per square inch, big enough. Even when he was next to Samson, 300 pounds at Arnold Classic, you could see the weight discrepancy, but per square inch, Derek is wide, right? The crazy lats and thickness from the back. So I didn't get that idea of major discrepancy in the size. Now, just glancing for 1 second, I could see it. Reportedly, this is the best Nick ever. So if this was the best Nick ever, that's forced to be reckoned with. And he was going against Derek, and it was tie. So tie break. So how close can that be? Derek just beat the reigning Mr. Olympia, and this was a tie. And many people believe Nick should have won. So let's see what actually happened on the stage. Because up until this moment, right, I would think Derek has that superior shape. He has a crazy X frame and a V taper that Nick doesn't. So just seeing show starts from the front relax, goes into the front double biceps, front lat spread. So those are the poses that I think Derek would take it.
Let's kind of circle back a little bit. So this is the first year of the Pittsburgh Pro. Just came about. I've been there guest posing since I can remember. 98 was the first year I actually went guest pose. So Jim Mannion hosted the Pittsburgh amateur show every year. This is now turned into a pro contest. Prize money $100,000. How does that equate to
first place?
How does that equate to the lineup of shows that we have as far as
the Olympia's 600, the Arnold's 500, the Dubai I think is 140.
Okay.
Arnold Classic was Arnold Classic UK last year. They didn't do it this year. Was I think 125 or 140. So I'm assuming it's the fifth highest money wise.
Okay, so they wanted to bring an expo there. Obviously, Tyler has different visions, which we like the fact that now there's some fresh. Like we're starting to do some different things in bodybuilding. We talk about this all the time. It's good to have some change. You got to evolve, right? I've always said this, and take it for what it is. Since the pandemic, expos have not really been back to full force. We haven't seen the size of the expos, whether it be Olympia or even Arnold Classic. I mean, we can't compare FIBO because there's so many different sectors.
It's a trade show.
Yeah, it's a trade show. So for as far as like a fitness festival, we still haven't seen the numbers climb back to pre-COVID. Like, would you agree or disagree?
I think the Arnold is, I think.
But is the Arnold as big as it was ever?
I know before the Arnold had a bunch of other things too, though.
That's
they
what
had
I mean.
like other venues down the road, but I don't know if they still do.
Okay,
so they might not have those.
So obviously, we've talked about this every year, whether it's LA Fit or all the and obviously it's like LA Fit had all these different regions that they did at cities.
They had 4 of them before,
and now we just had San Jose just got canceled. Okay,
so now they have 2.
We have Anaheim and LA. So they're bringing. How do you feel about Pittsburgh being like a hub to? I mean, we talk about drivable. It's the Arnold Classic. A little different from where the Olympia is.
It's drivable, meaning it's in an area where there are large cities that are not far. That's why the Arnold does so well. Within a 5-hour drive, there's 40 million people, and people can drive in.
I did hear that it had a lot of life to it. So basically, every powerhouse there. The thing is, as Jim Mannion calls, you're coming, right? That's first year. Hey, we want to have a big event. He did, I did speak to him. Unfortunately, I had another event booked, so I could not attend. Obviously, you didn't have anyone in the contest. That's most of the time you're going to these expos for that reason. But we talk about the powerhouses, the Sam Suliks, Trent twins, and
Chris Bumstead.
Ronnie. Those people alone are big draws.
Yeah.
But I did hear that it kicked off really well. Obviously, they had a stellar lineup, and not we're going to talk about the men's open, but we talk about bikini, men's physique, classic. Return of Brandon Hendrickson didn't fare as well as he wanted to. He got 4th. I don't know if you even watched that.
No, I didn't.
Okay, and then Amy won the bikini.
Yeah.
And Aaron
She's
Banks,
been knocking on the door.
Aaron Banks hit the title.
I heard that.
He looked great.
Yep.
But we were missing Ali and Ryan Terry out of that lineup. I mean, just like the men's open, I mean, it did draw some big names. Now, next week is New York Pro, which we'll talk a little bit about, because obviously we have Nick Walker, did not win here in Pittsburgh, which, highly anticipated. There was a lot of hype on that. But Derek Lunsford does the Arnold Classic and stays on the diet to do Pittsburgh. Now, did we question the fact of the peaking process? I mean, is it a little easier for let's be realistic. Is it easier for someone like Derek Lunsford, who competes at, what is his weight?
240 plus.
Okay.
I wasn't say even if that.
I mean, and you see Bonnick. I mean, Bonnick was there. He competed. He already, qualified. You got Martin Fitzwater, who qualified last year against Bumstead at the fall shows. These guys jumping in after, I guess Derek's the only one that jumped in after the Arnold Classic besides Bonnick, right? Was he the only one?
Derek, Bonnick, and Crizzo.
Yeah, but at Arnold there was only Derek.
Oh, I thought you meant just
Martin didn't do the.
So
Derek and Bonnick. Yeah.
It's a risk factor.
It was huge risk.
Huge risk.
Hey guys, Jay Cutler here. If you have not heard already, I launched my own TRT clinic. TRT Kingdom is now live. If you guys want to schedule your consultation, please click the link below and you'll get all the information you guys need for better health.
Huge risk. I take my hat off to him. And that's why I'm kind of.
But do you think this was the same Derek we saw at the Arnold? I heard it was a bigger chest version.
Yeah.
But I really think that the legs
were down again.
Well,
yes.
Okay.
Which was, I just talked to Chris Aceto on the way here, right?
Yeah.
To understand a little bit, because if you filled up in one region and then lose in the other region, it's kind of weird. So first, let's go with him beating Samson was legendary.
Yes, crazy.
He is setting new standards. I mean, he's the only 212 and Open Olympia champ. He does pretty much everything that he claims he will do. Going into the Pittsburgh was kind of nonsense for me, really nonsense, because
that's saying a lot coming from you.
Yeah,
you're like,
I'm compete all the time, but not if you're a champ at that level. You just redeem yourself from the Olympia a few months later at the Arnold.
Shut it down.
And now instead of focusing for Olympia, you are entering it. I don't know, there was 8 or 10 weeks in between. That's a long time to stay in shape. You can't really let yourself go, so you have to keep in shape. But, he won, he delivered. He said he wants that triple crown. But then if it's a triple crown, why not the quadruple crown? So you have
I don't understand that triple crown thing.
He won Arnold, Olympia, and Pittsburgh in the same year.
I know, but the problem is
it's a new show.
The Triple Crown. New York always was our go-to.
That was a triple crown, for me. And it's just week apart. Now with all this hype, imagine what will rematch be in New York. And then he passed. Rightfully so. It's way too much risk. It was way too much risk for him to begin with. He took a risk and almost lost.
Lost prejudging.
Yeah, as you mentioned to me at the UFC, is this like a step down? He lost some momentum and hype now, because if you beat Olympia champion and now you tie with somebody that was placing third 3 years ago,
Yeah, but if it was his best version, then you.
Yeah.
Like Nick Walker, this was probably one of his best versions. I don't know. I would have to compare it to.
You'll watch it,
a couple years ago, but Derek definitely wasn't signature Derek from the Arnold Classic, in my opinion. I wasn't there. It's hard for us. None of us were there, but this is the feedback I got. Okay, and there was also his presentation changed. So I don't know what happened. Some of his poses, and we'll get into that a little bit, looked a little different than what he normally presented, and I don't know why that was.
Well, let's step back for the Arnold Classic, right? Samson had a huge momentum going into the Arnold Classic, and he was pretty much untouchable. Not too many of us saw Derek coming and taking over. None of us. But at the prejudging, Samson was considerably off in his conditioning, and Derek was spot on. And that get that attention, right? And then, like I said, because of his width and a height per square inch, he looked big enough. And now polished enough, legs were up, and now he gives the reason for judges to say, wait a minute, okay? And I think it was super close at the finals. I think Samson could have taken it at finals quite easy. If Samson looked at the prejudging like he looked at the finals, I think he would take the title. But now, for Derek, that doesn't have experience of a multiple peaking throughout the years. He doesn't. Okay, that was a huge risk.
2 shows once.
Yeah, that's a huge risk. He delivered. He accomplished what he wanted it. Rematch in New York would be so good for so many reasons, right? But
who knows? Maybe he'll show up.
No, he's not on the list. So you have to sign up by Monday. Yeah. So he's not on the list. Martin not doing it is also nonsense. Martin was. We're going to talk about this a little bit off in a week. He could have depleted and be spot on, and that would be a good battle. I'm glad for Regan that he doesn't have to deal with those guys, right? Because now it's going to be Regan against Nick. But I don't know. Derek is going to have now less time than Hadi has, to prepare for Olympia. And you know that better than anybody. I mean, you were in the winner's circle. You chose your battles very carefully. It's not like he did Olympia, Derek, then he did Arnold, now Pittsburgh, and it's not that much time for the Olympia, right? You shut down and then got back on. Let's see. Nick, on the other hand, made a huge thing for his career, and he's now officially in the circle of potential winners of the Miss Olympia. Whether we like his physique or not, we're going to discuss right now. He delivered, and a
lot of people thought he should have won.
Yeah. That little footage that I'm seeing right now maybe is going to change my mind. I know going into the show already, you compare what you know of them. Front relax, with crazy V-taper of Derek. Since 2022, when he showed up first time at Olympia, 212 guy that we didn't even know where he's going to place. Remember, there was Big Ramy going. There was Samson and Andrew and all these guys. Derek is going to disappear among these giants. He didn't. He played second, right? But showstopper was when he stepped on the stage and opened up that front relax and then front double, holy shit. And going into when he turned around and hit the back double biceps, now everybody starts scratching their head. Ever since then, right, he maybe doesn't have that wow factor. He had a wow factor at the Arnold Classic. I don't think he had the same wow factor here. So wow factor was going to Nick in this instance. So you wanna pull the footage? Like front relax already surprised the heck out of me because I didn't think that Nick can look that good in the front relax.
All right, guys, the new flavor Buzzin' Orange is available now. You can grab this over at jcutler.com. Make sure you check it out. We're having a sale right now. Liquid L-carnitine, 3,000 milligrams. You guys want to get that crazy metabolism boost? Let's go.
Okay. Don't move. Don't move. Stay right there. Okay. Both Nick and Derek has the same issue, longer torso and shorter legs. So that's how you look at it. V-taper was dramatically into Derek's favor, but that X frame, now when I look at the legs here, you can see that Nick's legs are actually proportionally bigger, thicker, and more balanced. I love showing abs in the front relax pose. I don't care that you lose a little bit in the width and V-taper. That's a pure muscle. So while normally I was expecting that Derek would win the front relax pose, I'm changing my mind right here. What do you see?
Well, Derek's standing too high, number one, with the arms.
Riding the bike?
Which I don't know if he needs to be that high. But yes, I definitely, like, his legs suffered a little bit here. Nick, for sure. I mean, I don't know if these, obviously it was close. It was tied. It was like 4-4 poses wise, but
yeah,
but we never talk about the quarter turns.
Yeah, we don't talk about. I discussed this with
But
check.
But based on this, I mean, let's talk about the guys on each side. So Bonnick and Bonnick has looked phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
if he looked just as good as he did for all these other shows, it just comes down to the structure thing. Martin, I mean, he talked that he was going to be at his all-time best. I know there's a lot of talk on that. He was just too full from what I heard.
Yeah.
You know, and Walker, you know, the condition wasn't the same as Derek's, from my understanding. So basically, they think Derek was in better condition.
Oh, I that's the first time I heard.
I've heard other people that were in the crowd say that, but on camera,
it just doesn't.
That's why I don't want to say something and sound because I wasn't there.
I like to hear people.
But I'm going by the feedback. You know, you just said you talked to Chris. I mean, I'm just
Chris
going.
And Dennis.
So it's really like I hate to and I apologize. Like none of us were there, so it's hard to analyze this from pictures. And like you said, you can't tell from a picture standing still, but. I mean, I'm looking at this, and I mean, listen, Nick looks very complete. Right, he looks full. He looks round. We're sitting here saying, based on this shot, he wins this front relax, which is unbelievable. Because
for me,
people sit there and criticize his structure, but listen, he transformed his physique. I mean, he's definitely improved. Are the legs improved? Is the question. I mean, I think he's improved all around.
Around
everything. I think the waist got chiseled down. I mean, I don't know if Derek, you know. As far as Derek, we know his strong points definitely from the backside rather than the front.
Yeah, well, Derek never shows a lot of details from the front. You know, so conditioning you can't judge from the front.
I think he is getting better, though. I think the fullness in the chest. My understanding, he did improve.
Definitely,
he's definitely got more detail. And you know, let's run through a couple of the shots so we can kind of see. And see what it is.
There were 3 guys riding a Harley Davidson, and only Nick didn't.
I mean, this is where the structure comes into play, right? I mean, we don't always talk about, you know, structure of certain guys. I mean, if Martin was in condition, I mean, he has a really great physique too. That could hang with. I mean, he needs to work with his strengths, which is the conditioning factor.
Yeah, but
him trying to be too big. We all fell a victim of that, like in our heads, right? And I don't know if this was a bigger version to Derek, but looking at Derek right now, he definitely looks a little top heavy, in my opinion. Where Nick, you know, I don't know if this is Nick's best shot. People talk about this, but it definitely has improved. You know, the V taper,
my eyes keep going back to Nick on this.
You know, when I was watching Instagram in the hotel room, I said, Derek is known for that frontal biceps. When he opens up, is that X-frame, beautiful shapes. But here...
I don't think he was opening. I don't think he was opening up, though, Derek.
All the way out?
Yeah, from my understanding, he just wasn't opening the back like he normally does.
Here, I'm going to change my mind again. I'm going to say that Nick wins this pose. In this video footage.
In the video, yeah.
Yeah, that I unfortunately haven't had a chance to review back. Yeah.
Go to the next shot.
Yeah. Step right there. So.
Not Nick's best shot here.
Yeah, this is the pose he loses, definitely. You were saying about Martin. Now, Martin has everything, right? Everything that you can pick him apart. But then again, it doesn't have really great arms, peaking biceps, right? That in the front of the biceps you could see. And not hanging triceps. And then there's not much detail here. And then when his legs are too full, you know, there was not, so much separation. Lat spread looks good on Martin, but not as good as, I would say, neither Derek or Bonnick. And Bonnick is not even known for a width or a lat spread, but look at him here.
Hey, listen, let's talk about Bonnick's legs, guys.
Yeah.
This was a guy who was criticized a couple years ago about his legs.
Yeah.
I mean, how at his age is he just improving in his leg size? You got to give this guy a lot of credit.
Of course.
I mean,
I remember, a year and a half ago, when we were talking to him in Germany, he just wasn't like that confident. Now you look at him and he's in the mix in every show he does.
Yeah. Now, Derek looks great in front of the lat spread, but that leg positioning, It's a sign that I'm aware that I don't have a much of the size, right? When you position your legs like this, you're kind of, agreeing. I don't have that much volume, so let me, try to cover the space and create illusion. But he wins this shot.
He does, yeah.
Yeah. Now, side chest, before going into the show, I said Nick all day. But then what I saw in a hotel room made me believe, Derek really put some size on the chest. And this side shot, you can't really see the density and striations because you stretch the pec. And he had a full pec. And I didn't really think there's going to be overwhelming size difference in this shot. But now that I see it, I think that Nick is definitely more powerful.
That's one of Nick's best shots to me.
Yeah, normally, yes.
Yeah.
Nick doesn't have a full chest. But, it's argument. A lot of people told me they agree with Derek improving his chest and fullness to that point that he could stand and compete against Nick in this pose. Detail on the hamstring, glute tie-in. It's comparable. Nick has a crazy hamstring from the side and from the back especially. I think that Nick might be winning this shot as well. Martin has a great side chest.
He does, yeah.
And so is Boniak. Boniak I love his side chest. Always love his Boniak. Could Boniak contend for this shot? Absolutely. Now here, Dennis, Chris were saying that Nick beat Derek in the back double biceps pose, which I was shocked. I said, no, you have to be there, right? I say, so you tell me.
I mean, I could see this, but I think this might be the first round. I know that Derek got better as it went on.
Yeah.
But
after
Nick,
in a couple minutes, it'll just be Derek and Nick we can go through.
Okay, yeah, which I would like to see it because normally I didn't see such a huge discrepancy in a hamstring from behind in a size. I say, yeah, Nick is thicker for sure, but there was not this apparent. Now here is very apparent.
I mean, you start looking at, okay, let's put Nick's arms into this rear double because you got to look. You can't miss the arms.
Yeah.
When you really start critiquing it and you look at the V taper, and I just don't see Derek like he's not hitting his normal shots. I feel he's not hitting the shots like he normally did.
Look how good Boniak is in back double biceps too. I love it. That's very.
I can understand why somebody would say that looking at this, how Nick won this shot from the video. In person, I can't.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Here now, size in a lower body is apparent that Derek lost some volume and Nick kept it. And Nick's legs from behind looks ridiculously big. He doesn't have a striated glutes like Derek. And Derek's width of the back is just beautiful. He doesn't have a peaking biceps. Look at the left biceps of Nick.
Flexing his hamstrings like he normally does.
Who?
This he's got the cord.
I don't think he had the
to
the muscle. I mean, Nick, look it up. This is a guy that had a hamstring injury 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Look at his. I mean, we were talking about he's got striated hamstrings.
Yeah.
Like he had striations.
You show me in UFC. Like, look at that. There was fibers on the hamstring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had fingers there. Obviously, Christmas tree. Derek has that crazy.
So Derek is squeezing glutes and forgetting about the hamstrings, and Nick is squeezing hamstrings. See, this is typical. If Derek would squeeze the hamstring instead of glutes, he would have more details because I've seen it. And detail
I just think
creates illusion of
took
size.
A couple of rounds to get alive, and he was just a little flatter than what he would have liked.
Martin looks good, and Boniak doesn't supposed to look good in this pose because he doesn't have a wide leg.
Look at him.
But he looks great. He looks great. So complete. Not the widest, but
impressive.
Super impressive.
So
how do you judge that?
Top four right here.
Yeah.
A lot of good guys.
Top four. So this is not the first comparison. It's not.
This is the first.
color.
This is the top four
At the finals.
Yes,
Oh, that's
this is
big.
finals?
I believe so.
Okay.
This is how they started the
Yeah,
finals.
it says men's finals on the bottom.
Okay.
Side triceps. I love how Martin does the side triceps. There's a lot of things going on there.
Who wins this pose?
Yeah. Nick is a little bit unorthodox. I love abs in a side triceps pose. I love it. But he didn't, push that left shoulder forward to make him look thicker. Because when you look at it, like here, Derek looks thicker upstairs.
He does, yeah.
Because he, moved that
More
left shoulder.
Yeah. Concave stomach.
I think that and Boniek looks great, but I'm wondering, Boniek always does the right side triceps. Why he changed it? This is different. Boniek legs from the side is ridiculous also.
All these guys look good.
Okay, so who wins this shot? On a shape and size, Derek could beat Nick on this one. On a shape aspect. Obviously, we know that Nick's arm is way bigger than Derek, but,
The illusion there, it doesn't appear that way.
Yes. Side leg here, they're very comparable. Yeah, so that's a toss-up. Okay, freeze there. Okay. Give another second because Nick is going to make it deeper. Okay, I could see Nick beating Derek in a ab shot. Even though he has a wider waist, he has a deeper separation between abs. And Derek, for some reason, still doesn't know how to hit that ab shot. I sent you a picture, which I sent him. When he won the show and he just went, yeah, like this, his abs are perfect. Yeah, and I sent him that picture, right?
He sent it to Derek.
Yeah, I sent it to Derek.
Reply or?
Yeah, he said thank you.
Okay.
But see, you don't see it here. And ab and thigh shot is for abs and thighs.
Is that just learning how to?
Yeah, he still didn't figure that out. You have to have that linea alba at all times.
You know what that is?
Yeah, the middle lane. Yeah, you never had it in your life. You never saw it.
I have a massive one. Mine's split.
Yeah. You had it nicely filled up, with 40 pounds of lard.
40?
I like 40. Daddy. I'm being, exaggerating. So, I don't know. They allowed this term, intercostal serratus shot. I don't agree with that. How you compare this and the actual ab shot?
Who would you give this to?
I'm. The problem is I've already spoken to people about who won what shot, and they said Nick Walker won the ab shot. So it's hard for me to sit here looking at where I'm looking at these guys and being like, okay, this guy looks whatever. I mean, we knew Derek won, so indirectly, subconsciously, I'm like, oh, Derek wins this and Derek wins that, because we all know, if you look at physiques, and I know you've gone back and forth about your feelings on, but Derek still has the shape and the symmetry and all these things. But here we are sitting saying, well, his legs are downsized and his arms aren't as good. But in all, I mean, we talked about that with even Dorian Yates, and the guy still won. So it's not like if you went body part to body part. I mean, I think you're picking Walker to win all these poses right now. But the truth of the matter is what I looked at, it was like 4-4 pose wise. So
yeah, when I look at it before I've seen this footage, I had Derek winning.
Okay. Remember, it was 4-4 is really what it came down to, and then they ended up at a tie, and then it came down to round after round who broke first as far as in judge's opinion. And
so
I'm going to get it to the top two after this, so we can.
Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna analyze that again.
See, Derek's legs look great right there when he puts a bow to him and stomps on him.
Yeah, and he doesn't ride a horse.
Look, you know what? Look at Boniek there.
Yeah, Boniek is ridiculous in this pose. Crab, most muscular. I mean, he was.
I mean, we
in
consider
Dubai
all
next
these
to
guys, but who wins the most muscular?
Nick. I mean, listen. Derek improved dramatically. I like his
Dramatic
muscular
look now?
because before there was nothing happening in this pose. Now look at shoulders, look at chest. Yeah, he still doesn't have a striation, but arguably he has just as much or more fullness to the pec than Nick here. Look,
Nick looks like a beast right here.
Yeah.
Martin looks ridiculous in the most muscular pose, and Boniak too. So, of course, you're focusing on top two, and those two guys could give them a run for the money, right?
I'm gonna forward it to the top two.
The last call out? Yeah.
Let me find it.
I'm bummed that I didn't have a chance actually to see real footage.
There it is. Hold on, let me get it.
And this is what judges are going for. Maybe in the prejudging or maybe in the first round, they see one guy winning and then they change their mind. And I tried to judge before, and I've seen the same pose hit 3 times. I go back and forth. One guy won the first round, the other guy won the second. So here, going. This is a moment, walking to the line that Nick didn't control his abs.
Yeah, you need to stay tight.
Yeah. Okay, now here, front double biceps. Last front double biceps. Yeah, last front double biceps, I gave it to Nick. Here, I would give it to
I agree.
Eric. You see?
Crazy
Same guys.
that a couple minutes, 20 minutes later, how different it looks.
Same guys, same pose. Oh, Nick is chewing the gum. Look at that. Holy hell. Yeah, why don't you have a breakfast? Okay. Still, overall impression is Derek with the weaker legs. I thought they equally have weaker legs.
I actually remember. Do you remember me saying on this podcast, Derek's going to come in with bigger legs, fuller, because I think he was going to be bigger?
It's not.
I was wrong.
Yeah. It's always off season. His legs look ridiculous.
Well, it's probably just time. We talk about peaking.
Look here. Going into the pose, Derek looks crazy. You see, Derek gives
he does.
reason. He gives a reason to give him this pose, which was almost impossible to think about. That he can take side chest.
So there's 3 poses that you're calling Derek winning right now.
Now, I remember at the first comparison, I gave 2 poses to Nick.
Yeah.
Now I'm giving all 3 to Derek. And that's probably what judges are going through, which audience doesn't realize.
Obviously, the camera's more zoomed in on just the 2 of them, so you can see a little bit more potential detail.
A lot of detail on Derek's side leg, all that, which he had.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
classic.
this is what I want to see. I really consider Derek unbeatable in back double biceps because of the back. But when you look, arms are not spectacular and hamstrings are not spectacular. And now even his left leg that he's positioning right 45 degrees so you can see the sweep of the quads can show you that he doesn't have enough meat over there.
Does Nick Walker have
This is big difference.
Second best back double in the top open men's?
He looks crazy there.
He looks crazy. So
he looks unbelievable.
Look at the arms.
Now I see the argument when Chris and Dennis were saying they could see Nick beating Derek in back double biceps, which I would never accept.
And we talked about Flex Wheeler's back double because there was a lot of detail.
Yeah, narrow but the detail.
I mean, it's not always about how wide it is. I mean, you got to look at the whole thing. Like, look at the bicep peaks from behind. Look at the tricep striations.
It kind of reminds me of how Ronnie was from behind with those peaks and the arms and all the details.
So, everywhere. I mean, arguably, does he beat Derek on this shot?
I would give it to him now. I didn't because they're going to say, come on, Milos, make up your mind. You speak differently. But, okay, cover the upper body now and look at the legs. Oops, no comparison. Okay? Yeah. Cover the back and look at the arms. Oops, no comparison. Then look at this whole picture. Yeah, Derek has that beautiful V-taper going in, Christmas tree and all that stuff. not enough.
Nick's back lat spread improved too.
Improve, yeah. I mean, just upper body, obviously, Derek wins. But including everything, oof, it could be debatable. I can see judges deciding left or right. You see, look at the hamstring of Derek here. It's not powerful. Look at the quads, not sweeping, not left or right. And look at the quads on Nick, sweeping all over the place on both sides. So, yeah.
What a statement.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't see it. I did the old school podcast.
You've never seen it with. You never gave Walker credit. I feel
no, but I'm a hater of both of them. Remember,
yeah.
You know, like I'm accused of being hating them both. I love both guys.
I mean, this is where Derek wins this pose because I just feel Nick could really control the midsection a little more.
Yeah,
sit on the abs if he just twisted and hit some intercostals and more.
Derek does it in a shapely version with enough size. And Nick just goes straight up and down, trying to control his abs. Legs look good, but there's more detail on Derek's hamstring right here. So Derek can win this shot. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Abs and thighs. Okay, that's it. That's it.
Not bad for Derek, though.
Not bad, but not as good as picture I sent you, right? Which I say always, if you can do pose for 1 second, you can do for 2 and 3 and 5 and 10. And if you thanks for waiting for me. Yeah, I didn't see.
Well, they're just sitting there. Yeah, they're just
Yeah, I think Nick won that pose. See, I like Derek's legs this way better. Way better. Look at that. It doesn't look awkward. Sticking. Look at that. Now there is lateralis, medialis, separation, feathers. This looks way better. And this is the best I've seen Derek in the most muscular shot. He still doesn't have a feathered.
Would you say this is better than the Arnold Classic most muscular?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Like Nick wins it, but he's not blowing him away. Like you expect him to.
Here you leave that room for the argument. He opened the door and Derek is creeping in. I would still possibly give it to Dance Tech Big Nick, but because most muscular is not shape pose, it's a muscle pose. Hashtag muscle building, it can take over hashtag bodybuilding. But here, you don't do this. Okay, he's trying to control the abs, but not succeeding all the time.
I'll just let it run through one more time.
Again, I give it to Derek this time. Lat spread, I give it to Derek. Real toss-up. Real toss-up. I can go with either guy.
Watching this, you can see why the judges were damn near right down the middle. It makes sense.
Yeah, they say in person, Nick was way bigger. Here, I don't see it. Oh, right here. Derek hit the back double this time a little bit better. Then opening up, you could see the striations on his lats. And I give it to Derek. Here, still I give it to Derek. But it's not without the argument. it takes Nick a while to hit, but his abs are way deeper, right? He doesn't have a V-taper. Does he need to have in abs and thighs? I'm not sure. It helps, but it's not the mandatory. Yeah.
We're out of this. So now
Derek is big and full.
So now, after watching a lot of this, what is your, do you think
overall
you
impression?
got it right?
It was tight squeeze. Now, after reviewing everything, initially I thought like maybe Nick could have take. After reviewing everything, I could see why the coin was flipped on the Derek side.
Yeah, but you know what? Either one.
Yeah.
Great showing for Walker.
Yeah.
Great showing for Derek. A lot of balls for Derek to come into this show. Now he talks about, hey, he's shutting it down to the Olympia. Nick, obviously, is competing this weekend. Will be there. Does Nick Walker win New York?
Well, he has
he's the favorite for
he
sure.
has the Regan to deal with. Regan.
Yeah, but Regan's not proven yet.
Yeah, bigger Regan with
to prove himself. Yes.
Yeah, he needs to prove himself. Yeah, I mean, he's huge favorite, Nick Walker, obviously.
I mean, you give your Bonnet credit. You got to give. Let's talk about Krizo.
He's doing New York.
Let's talk about him because he was fifth. What was your impression of Krizo?
This is like
this is a New York lineup.
Soccer player that you have to put the soccer ball and teach him how to kick it. He doesn't know how to pose. How can you be
shredded?
He was shredded. Muscle is there and all that stuff, but it's what you show, not what you have. And he again just showed up on the stage like he's going on a beach. Stomach hanging. Doesn't open up, makes himself wider. He's not a wide guy to begin with. So you have those crazy adults. You have to take up the space and, constantly inhale, make your waist smaller, lats wider, and shoulders out as much as possible. Stomach flat from the side. You could see his stomach going all over the place. And Steve Weinberger, I remember back in the 90s, he calls out top three guys, okay? But then he's scanning everybody on the left and right to see who's going to drop the shoulders, let the stomach go, relax completely, and then they can assess real physique. You see, that's one thing. When they showed up on the stage and you get in the pose, you can create the illusion of a physique that is not really a physique. When you're standing on a lineup, relax, they can, see, oh, I said today, Flex Wheeler, Sean, or Chris Cormier, or Kevin, or myself, or we didn't have to try to keep our waist in and abs tight. It's just like normal. When these guys, starting from Dorian, right, he had to control the abs and put the effort in, and every so often they would lose it. Nasser would lose it.
Is this on the screen?
Ronnie.
No.
Oh.
No, I just put it up so you...
we talk about Sauce. Sauce is doing the show.
For New York? Yes.
Is he a dangerous for that top three?
Oh, he's for sure top three danger. He was battling William Boniak pose by pose. Apparently Boniak even told him that...
Andrew Jack.
Yeah, but Andrew's not here. But Sass and William were super competitive. Apparently William told Sass, if you take it, I think you earned it. And he didn't take it. And that's coming from Boniak. Sasan is so shredded and so conditioned that all of us in bodybuilding would appreciate it. Like, how can you not love ripped to pieces, striated everywhere?
Here's a random question. So when you have someone like that that's that conditioned, and he stands next to a guy like Nick, does Nick's normal gnarly conditioning not have the same effect when the guy next to you is like that?
I think that Nick has a combination of shredded,
hardness
and size.
In size.
So I really think it's hard for us to put in the conversation, like, Sauce is going to beat Nick Walker.
No, I'm not saying beat. I'm just saying when you have someone like Nick.
I mean, I think he could beat. I mean, he could beat Bonnick and everyone else that's in this lineup and be second place.
Yeah,
based on that condition with enough size. Because listen, I mean, let's talk about even you guys mentioned Regan. I mean, he's a lot bigger than Sauce probably, but like what's his conditioning going to look like compared to his?
Yeah.
You know, we haven't seen
Regan in a year and a half on stage, so.
I mean, Michael Krizo, just like we talked about, is in crazy condition. But if he can't present it, then you've got a problem.
When Krizo came first time here to U.S. and he was in Vegas, I watched him.
Yeah.
And then you watch him at
but I'm watching him in the gym training. I mean, Dennis James
crazy.
was Mr. Olympia in the gym.
Yeah, it looks crazy, for sure.
It'll be a good show because
it's going to be a great show. But you know, now we have back-to-back power hitter shows, and then there's a hell of a lot of contests after that.
There's a show every week.
So we have no new qualifications for the Olympia. Samson guest pose. What'd you think of him?
I've seen a little bit. I mean, he's off the juice, of course. So
but he looked incredible.
He looks incredible because that's a real body.
Like looking at him,
that's a real body.
Is he still the front runner for Olympia?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think if Samson showed up in any comparable condition to anybody else, he's superior bodybuilder. He wins.
What do you think of Terrence Ruffin?
I think that Jose Manuel Moniz
pushed him
big time and possibly
it's a close score, you know.
Possibly beat him. I love Terrence.
I was listening to Cito and they said they thought he was going to win.
Yeah, I mean it's conditioning like out of this world. So Terrence is conditioned, and he, you know, it was kind of Logan Franklin and Mike the Badass at Tunnel Classic. Mike standing alone, great condition. Standing right next to Logan, you could see the levels. So Yosema Beast, I think that's his nickname, has a look, condition out of this world. He needs a little bit more sweep to his thighs, maybe a little bit more arms. But Terrence doesn't have great arms either. But Terrence got him on quad sweep.
He improved a lot, though, Terrence Ruffin.
I see Terrence battling for a title for sure, Olympia title. Now we're going to have a rematch of those two guys in classic physique at
New York?
Yeah, New York.
Okay, good.
There's going to be a rematch. Unfortunately, we don't have a rematch of Open.
What'd you think of the guys posing down, you know, most of the classic guys?
Yeah.
Like Mike Summerfield, Urs wasn't on there. They had Vissers up there, Wesley Vissers.
Yep. Keon.
Keon was there. Samson,
Dino,
obviously.
Dino.
Yeah, Ramon Dino looked really good.
Yeah. See, structure shape goes to Summerfield.
Don't you feel like Ramon's gotten kind of the shaft because he hasn't really been in the mix this year for the first time? People aren't talking about him as much.
Yeah, but he can get shredded and then be right there. Win. He can still win. There's no question.
Well, I mean, he's been second all these years, so why aren't shouldn't he be the heir apparent to the throne?
There's going to be like 5-6 guys now that Chris is gone. You know, Mike Summerfield is obvious choice. Logan pushed him big time.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Terrence has
is Logan
everything
qualified?
Yeah.
How?
No. Logan's not qualified yet. Yeah.
He qualified the Sean Ray show last year.
Yeah.
Is he qualified?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Check.
But
I don't know why he wouldn't be competing in these shows if he wasn't, though. He must be qualified.
I mean, Dubai Pro is coming with a 70-80 grand for first place. Is unheard of for a classic. So maybe he is going to go there. Yeah. It would be great to see also Logan and Jose Manuel Moniz battling in the craziest condition ever.
Let's see his name.
It's already how many qualified?
It's like almost 40.
Holy hell.
Wow.
Almost 40?
Oh, Matt Grego. Let's talk about Matt Grego.
Yeah, when I looked up the other day, it was like 40 bikinis, like mid-40s, men's physiques mid-40s, and classic was just shy of 40. But it looks like Terrence Ruffin and Mohammed Murshid from Iraq. There must have been another classic show somewhere around the world. So now there's over 40 in 3 divisions already, and we're only in May.
What do you think about Matt
McGregor? I love his physique. He's the future also of the sport. A little bit more polishment and super dangerous. Remember, they put him next to Boniak at whichever Detroit show, Classic Physique.
No, didn't he
winner
post
against
him
Open
in Pittsburgh? Did he go up there?
Who?
Matt Grego.
Of course he did.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
What happened to you?
He was one of the guys guest
What happened
hosts.
to
I
you?
tore my bicep.
Huh?
I tore my bicep.
Again?
Well, just a partial. Just you see it. It was all black and blue before.
Injecting Synthol again? Fake arms. Yeah.
Are you trying to be like one of those guys with the big
You know how
arms?
black and blue it was. It was.
No, it was. That's
yeah.
way better. Before
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
way worse.
Is it
Our
because
last podcast, you wore like a longer
really?
shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's black and
It
blue.
was
all the way
bad.
down. I think down here I straight.
you should ask Hunter to imitate you and your biceps curls, like swinging.
The
That's
form-
why.
Let me ask you about this. So we had two of the bikini girls. The top, they live here. Both girls.
Yeah, I was just gonna say shout out to Amy
Ashley.
bringing the title back here, and Ashlyn lives here now too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I see Amy train at the Torture Gym quite often, and
Ashlyn trains there too.
I didn't see her.
I've seen her there at
in,
night. At night, I've seen
the
her.
other gym, Cult Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I see Amy trains super hard, super smart, and she looked phenomenal.
She's doing
year around. It's like trying to grab the skin.
Is Banks
super
doing?
tight.
Is Aaron Banks doing New York?
I don't know. I think so.
Can you pull it up?
Let's see if I can.
I know Brandon is.
So Brandon plays fourth. I
He
didn't watch
looked
it.
great from the front. They said from the back shots he lost. I mean, you're competing against the best back in men's physique with Banks. He looked great,
Competitor list.
which is expected because he's Mr. Olympia. But
It's classic.
Oh, yeah.
this is what?
How many times did Brandon
This is
win Olympia?
This is the people who are signed up for New York.
Oh yeah,
Yep. This is the classic men's physique.
you see Aaron Banks on there?
Well, maybe not.
God, that's a big class too.
I don't see him there.
I
Yeah.
guess if you're not on the list, you can't sign up now. It's too late.
Terrence Ruffin's in. Yeah, he's in there. There's going to be some big women's bodybuilding, figure, women's bikini. There's a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good show. 2 back-to-back shows. I was just looking over the schedule yesterday. There's legit a show. I want to say till every weekend till mid-August.
Every weekend.
Every weekend. Like they got this one next weekend is California. The week after
Bob was
Reno.
asking, I asked manager Matt today, hour ago, why Regan was not competing in Pittsburgh if he's going to New York. So I told him, I already know the answer. He started from New York and is doing all these other shows, California and Toronto.
He had
planned.
Pittsburgh on his radar, and it just took him longer to get in shape. He just wasn't there. And up until last week is finally when this coach said, "You're ready." You didn't want to put him on stage; he wasn't ready. It just took a little longer than they anticipated. But it was on the list. And if he wouldn't have been ready this week, he wouldn't have done the show this week. They just have to make sure he's in shape in his next show, and it just took him a little longer than they anticipated. But he has. I mean, he might do a string of shows here, so we'll see.
He should.
Because you got this one this weekend. Next weekend's Cali. The week after is Reno. The week after is Toronto. Then the weekend after that is Spain. Then the weekend after that is Dubai and China in the same day.
Yeah.
And then the next week you go right into Tampa.
Yeah.
Right into
That's
Chicago.
the same day in China. Who's going to go to China?
You know what's funny? So I actually said that to Regan. I said, listen, we have Chinese visas. You can't just go there. A lot of these guys.
But he would be qualified for Olympia already by then.
Sure.
I'm sure.
But
if
you're in shape and you can go win a show and get depending on how much the prize money
Well, it
is.
depends who shows up at some of these shows.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the kid in Reno. He's really good.
Antonio Burton. Yeah. Antonio Burton's doing that
yes.
show. I'm assuming a bunch of guys from New York are going to go straight to Cali.
Sauce is doing Cali, I think.
He'll go to Cali too, I'm sure. You're in shape.
I'm thinking Regan doing Dubai with Becruz and Martin.
I would love
That's
to.
going to be a lineup.
Who?
Martin, Becruz,
Who's Martin?
Martin Fitzfather.
Oh, he's doing it.
He's doing Dubai?
Yeah, that Martin.
Oh,
that's what I heard.
Good.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
How much his pay?
It's 140,000.
140 grand.
So it makes all the sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And going to Dubai is just easy because it's just so smooth. And
I wish those guys are not entering because it would be easier for Behruz,
I actually said to Regan, I said, standing next to Behruz is one of the best for you because you're the similar height. Yeah. And a lot of the other places, they both are shapely. They both get gnarly from the back.
They both look phenomenal. That's for me bodybuilding.
Yeah,
Behruz and
I
Regan.
Think it'd be just it's great for him to stand next to. He's not going to stand next to Samson, but anytime soon, or Andrew, that are also his height. So, he'll stand next to Crizzo this weekend, I'm assuming.
Yeah, Crizzo beat him last time at Olympia, not this time. That's how I see it.
There's not that many guys that are 6 feet tall that get in shape and carry the muscle.
Yeah, I saw Regan definitely 5, 6, 7 pounds heavier at the same so many weeks before the show. This time when I saw him at Torture Gym training with Tristan, definitely put some size.
He's for sure. He's put size on in his chest. His arms are probably 1 inch to 1.5 inches bigger.
Triceps is ridiculous.
He needed that.
Shoulders are ridiculous. Back is ridiculous.
He's still a work in progress, but like Jay said, he's got to prove himself next to the top guys. I mean, he did his last Olympia being in the top 10, but now he's got to go win one of these shows against one of the elite.
Yeah.
And hopefully, we'll see what happens. I never make predictions in shows.
One of my favorite people and favorite physiques, as you know.
We'll all be there. Anything else?
No, I don't know when we'll be able to do a breakdown unless you guys, you're coming right back. Maybe I might have to call in or something if we want to do it.
So we're going to come back, and then obviously we come back Sunday. Well, it's Sunday night. Or Sunday afternoon. We have Guy's sister Nino's event. So shout out to Guy for his 1 year anniversary. There's a ton of people going to that. It's in New Jersey. So we'll do that Sunday. Then Sunday night we fly home, and then probably Wednesday or Thursday we'll drive to Cali. It's only 3 hours up the road, so might as well just drive.
You're not going to go Wednesday. It's too early.
Wednesday or Thursday.
Are you going?
No, he's going to Boston.
No, I'm going to be in Boston, but I'll be back by the time they probably leave, and I'll be coming back. And I might try to come out to California depending on how Regan looks in New York.
He's going to look crazy.
Jay likes excuses to go to California, though. He likes it out there.
Yeah, it's Memorial Weekend, so it's a busy weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It depends on the weather. I'll look up the weather. If it's nicer here, I'll stay in Vegas.
There you go. Why don't you come to Cali?
I was going to stay in Boston for the whole week, but I just looked up the weather, and it's going to be raining and cold.
Oh, yeah.
I think I have a Luke Wood's brother is coming, Adam Wood. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to see him. And, then there's a couple of UFC events.
Oh, that's why you're not going. Now the truth comes out.
Yes. Anyway.
Well, appreciate you coming on. Guys, let us know your opinions. I know I posted up on Instagram. I did have to delete a couple of comments because they were just out of line. But
so now after reviewing, what would be your final answer?
I honestly cannot give an honest review when I'm not there. Because
according to this,
I'm going back and forth of like Walker looked his best. I mean, I talked to Nick after he was heartbroken, and I told him, Nick, a majority of people thought you should have or could have.
Yeah,
you have a great following to
capitalize
support. Go there. You're going to be a crowd favorite, which he would have anyway because he's from Jersey.
His hometown.
Just run with it.
Bring
It's
the
not.
house
It's
down.
not the Olympia. It's not the big. It's not the Super Bowl. This is like. It's like a playoff game and losing along the way.
Like losing a game in the
I know he wanted to qualify. I think that's what he's more thinking, but he will qualify. I mean, you're sitting here saying
no doubt.
Regan will qualify. I mean, Nick Walker will qualify looking like this.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he probably will win this weekend, I would probably say. But, hey, it's his best look. I'm really proud of Nick. I'm proud to Derek for what he's put on the line. He's got big balls. I love that. I'm not sitting there saying he looked bad. He didn't look his best, but he didn't need to. He although it was a tiebreaker, whatever, I'm happy for Bonnick. I mean, Bonnick's shown time and time again. I mean, everyone was talking about him going away. Martin's young. He's got a whole career ahead of him. He's the youngest guy up there, I think.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Good Vito. We didn't talk about him.
Oh.
That was devastating because where would he have ended up, Milos?
Probably very high because Jose Raymond, he was talking to us. He saw him live and he saw him potentially beating Martin. And Jose Raymond has the best eyes in bodybuilding.
Yes.
Yeah. So he saw so many things. He said, like, guys, you don't know what is coming. And then I don't even know what happened. I see the bruise.
Yeah, it said something about impinged something, nerve
or something.
Yeah. So my original assessment from seeing just partially things online, I thought like Derek easily because I would always go with the Derek's shape. And I know the condition was pretty good, maybe not 100% on, but close. But after reviewing and then considering how crazy Nick looks in person, I could see possibly go his way. So
it's a coin toss. I'm happy for both guys. Like we said, I cheer both of them on. Listen, man, I would love to see Derek come in and win, like,
Olympia?
Win everything.
Do what you did.
Do it like come. I'm dying to see someone come back and do like. Obviously I did it the next year.
Yeah,
which was all these guys have attempted.
You're
to do,
a party of one.
Yeah, I mean, so to lose it the year prior, then to come back and win it. I mean, Brandon Henriksen's done it. Jen Dory's done it.
Yep. That's it. And you.
Hey, plus, I'm trying to show the people that I have a neck. You know, because a few people say, "What happened to my neck?" So here it is, guys. And I wanted to tell you, Joan Pardelas is a big fan of yours, the Spanish kid, right? He sent me this shirt. He wants to send it to you. Work. Nobody cares. Work harder. That's
true.
That's a line of Habib. You're tired? Who cares? Nobody cares. Work harder. So he wanted your address to send.
Jay says it all the time. Nobody cares.
Okay. Johan, you're going to get the address so you can send it. What, medium? Double X? Still?
Yeah, double X, yeah.
So, okay.
I appreciate it, Milos. We'll see you at the next one, and we'll keep you posted on New York. We'll be giving you... Yeah. And you have to listen to our critiques because we're always right. You know?
Yeah, you're always right.
Big shout out to Jim, Tyler, the whole crew over there. Congratulations. Let's cheer on Big Steve this weekend. If you guys are coming over to New York Pro, come say hello to us. The guy in the red hat. We're out, Cutler Cast.
I wear the black hat at shows.
There you go. All right.
Thank you.
Signing in.